Ja. Washington war ich schon. Keine nutzbare Türe.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Piaggi hast du zugemacht.
Huh, that's me.
Achso.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Godoy jetzt auch zu.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Warum war ich hier noch nicht? Warum habe ich die Tür übersehen? Eisenstein.
Tending children at the orphanage in Harlem. I find it a little hard to understand this painting choice.
Okay.
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess.
Ja. Kann man mal machen.
Amber.
Amber. Ist nicht hier, aber...
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. T.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
Das wäre ja mal was. Lieber E. Hier ist noch ein Brief, den ich nicht gucken kann. Bilder, die ich nicht... Hier ist doch was.
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds. Painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting.
Naja. Ich kenne andere Seiten, die... Naja, lassen wir das. Noch ein Buch.
Grammar of Port-Royal. Ah, the artistry of the French language in all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world. At least une partie of it.
Mindestens ein Teil davon, ja? Ist ja immer noch das Kleid an. Goldelixier. Ist hier zu
A
lesen?
letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Ja, da geht's um Steuererhöhungen. Schön.
A drachma.
Drachme. Oh. Herzogin, Sie können König Georg davon in Kenntnis setzen, dass ihm die Unterstützung des Heiligen Vaters gewiss ist. Wir werden Sie bei der Rekrutierung von Regimentern aus emigrierten Royalisten, die gegen Frankreich kämpfen sollten, finanziell unterstützen. Ihr Freund, seine Herzeminenz Giuseppe Piaggi.
Two coils circle the lock.
Schlüssel immer noch nicht. Danke. Und?
Queen Charlotte. All the royal family of England is there from what I can tell.
Königin Charlotte.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. He was the
Kennt auch
English
jeden,
Prime
ne?
Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now.
15 Jahre alt.
Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately. For that, and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough will carry out his task and meet with you within 6 months. From then on, you'll be free from want. Yours sincerely, William Pitt, Count of Chatham.
Okay, wenn ich so einen Befreiungsbrief hätte, würde ich den auch 15 Jahre aufbehalten. Ich kann das nicht durchsuchen. Weil ich diesen Skill nicht habe. Na dann. Ja, was irgendwie. Lustig, dass da so ein Origami steht. Naja, gut, tschüss. Was es geht. Nee, ich wollte nicht zur Tür, ich wollte zur Duchess.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Nö, alles gut. Es waren viele Stichwunden. Kann ich, Bleiben hätte ich gerne erschwächen. Ja, danke. Es waren viele Stichwunden.
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times. No doubt she suffered greatly.
9 times? What monster is capable of such a horrible thing? Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for
Good
Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Mit ihr über die Mordnacht sprechen.
Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
Okay, gut, ja. Wo war sie denn gestern Abend?
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis for each person. Just so that I can cross you off the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the murder?
Am I given to understand that I'm on the list of suspects?
Don't take it the wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Well, if you absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening, you only had to join me, you know.
I know,
stimmt.
Emily. Especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least.
Ja. Kostet mich nichts, mache ich.
Since your arrival, did you notice anything strange about Elizabeth?
Everything that happened around that poor child was strange. You saw that for yourself.
I know. You're right. I'm looking for leads to try to reduce the number of suspects.
Achso, das Ding ist
Well,
weg.
I would say that in addition to ourselves, you could also cross off President Washington. I went to see him during the night. I had some business with him, and I can confirm that he didn't leave his room all night.
That gives Washington an alibi.
Hatte ich auch nicht wirklich auf der Liste, ja? Andere Gäste.
I hear you were in discussions with the Holy See.
Oh, either His Eminence can't keep his tongue from wagging, or you've been poking your nose where you shouldn't, sir.
Even so, Emily, you're raising a royalist army. That's no small matter.
And you are straying from the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Ja, was geht denn mit dem Stück Stoff?
I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check with you.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
That's good.
Thank you.
Are you all right?
No.
You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the scene.
Thank you, Emily.
Der Dolch wurde von einer Frau geführt.
We found the murder weapon.
What is it?
A dagger, quite
Lag
slim.
daneben.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching as it happens. That said, since the blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
The handprint was a very slender hand, Emily. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island. Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Keep up your courage, Louis. I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
If what you
Yeah.
say is true, Emily, I'm less and less enthusiastic about shedding any light on the subject.
Gut, zurück. Hatte ich ja schon. Gehen.
I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
Bis später. Schade, dass du kein Gelee Royal hier liegen hast.
William Pitt, the elder, Earl of Chatham. Emily works with his son.
Ja. Und auch mit Papa. Okay, der Typ, der nachdenkt. Ich habe immer noch die Hoffnung, dass ich hier vielleicht irgendwo noch Gelee Royal finde. Naja. Gut, Peru.
Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte.
Hatte ich.
Monsieur Jacques Peru.
Ja. Zweite Chance. Mit. Der nächste Einsatz kostet dich nichts und.
Dear Monsieur Peru.
Ja.
Right. I've retrieved everything.
Okay. Offenbarte Immunitäten und sprechen.
Nice decor for a revolutionary tribunal judge's room.
Danke.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite.
Ich kann's.
I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Bitte ich drum. Immunität. Kann ich nicht machen. Schade.
I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying
danke.
any more. There's no point you insisting.
Na dann nicht. Ich kann auch hier nichts mehr finden, um... Naja. Gut, dann muss ich halt unerledigter Dinge hier fortgehen. Und schauen, ob ich nicht noch irgendwas... runter kann ich immer noch nicht. Ich denke, ich werde nochmal hochgehen müssen. Und bin mal gespannt, was ich jetzt hier noch besprechen kann. Du hast auch nichts mehr zu erzählen, oder?
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. is probably nothing. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Perrault.
Habe ich
You
versucht.
remember how
aber nicht.
violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
worry. He's on the list of suspects.
Und zwar ganz oben, aber... Gut, ich wüsste jetzt sonst nichts, was ich noch machen könnte. Ich spreche mal mit ihm hier.
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781.
Ja, nicht schlecht. Du hast echt nichts zu sagen? Du bist mein Hauptverdächtiger. Sprich. Na dann nicht. Noch mehr Gelee Royal. Und ich suche die ganze Zeit überall. Kann ich mit dir sprechen oder willst du nicht? Wo waren Sie jetzt, Nacht?
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Jetzt bin ich gespannt. Bereits bekannte Fakten.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
Okay, ja.
I'll be in touch as soon as I have any more information.
Ich gehe jetzt doch nochmal rum. Okay, ich dachte, jetzt könnte ich mit dem irgendwie... Okay, die Duchess kann ich abhaken. Ich muss nochmal zu Bonaparte. Von Wöllner ist auch aus. Das ist jetzt Tatzimmer. Ich habe doch Schlüssel gefunden. Okay. Doch keine Truhen hier, die ich noch hätte öffnen können. Was? Ah, das ist das Tatzimmer. Warte mal. Jetzt kommt wieder die lange Animation. Ja, ich kann das auch nicht canceln irgendwie, ne? Okay, müssen wir das nochmal tragen. Ich guck mal, was ich noch untersuchen kann. Okay, fangen wir mit den Füßen an.
Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs.
Kann ich gucken, wo das...
Let's see. No trace of sexual assault or rape.
Das war schon mal gut. Die
No
Hände?
wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol.
Das Symbol untersuchen? Hab ich schon. Kopf hatte ich übersucht.
I count
Oberkörper.
no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death.
Ja. Die Wunden untersuchen. Kostet mich 2. Jetzt kostet es mich nichts.
The wounds are clean and look like they've been inflicted by a sharp object. Some of the lacerations have damaged vital organs. The heart, the right lung, which is perforated. Most of them weren't given with much force. She might even have survived. But the stab in the heart, though not all that deep, Sealed their fate.
Okay, ja. Also Stich ins Herz war der Schuss. Oberkörper hatte ich gerade. Arm war auch
Numerous
eigentlich
marks
durch,
on
ne?
her body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
Ja, hatte ich hier noch irgendwas offen? Weiß es nicht mehr. Hatte ich. Kopf hatte ich, Hände hatte ich, Beine hatte ich, das war ich. Gut, muss ich zum guten alten Bonaparte nochmal. Und natürlich gucken, ob ich hier irgendwas noch... Ching, aber ich sehe nichts. Die Truhe kann ich auch nicht öffnen. Was haben wir denn hier? George Washington, da war ich da. Tun. Ey, manchmal höre ich dieses Ting für blaues. Mach was? Aber dann irgendwie auch nicht. Ich glaube, das ist mit in dem Soundtrack eingebaut. Der Papst. Mein Zimmer.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Godoy konnte ich auch nicht rein. Duchess war auch nichts. Jedes Mal völlig auf diese komische kleine Tasse da rein.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Bonaparte. Ich wollte dich noch was fragen. Ich glaube, irgendwas konnte ich bei dir nicht auswählen. Weil ich nicht genug
Monsieur de
Zeugs hatte.
Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Ja, ich versuch's.
Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
Ach, das hält noch 1,5 Minuten. Achso.
Were you able to recognize the prowler?
Unfortunately not, no. It was dark, and Lord Mortimer was waiting for me. I was not really paying attention anyway.
Okay, danke. Nicht das kleinste Detail.
Excuse me for insisting, but if you saw him or her, I'm sure you would have more information than that. It's just that you don't think it can be of help to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Was it a woman, for instance? Bearing in mind that all the women here wear whalebone dresses, which is rather noticeable.
A man, I should say. I don't recall seeing the silhouette of a dress.
You see, you saw many things, in fact.
Hang on. Laissez-moi réfléchir. Let me think a minute.
A wig? His height? The sound of his footsteps, maybe.
Ah, his height. Oui, somewhat imposing. A tall man, and straight. As for the rest, I don't know, Monsieur de Richet.
Not to worry. That's already quite a lot. Thank you for everything.
Fortfahren. Okay, ich frage
As
nochmal
any
nach Pistole.
good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Stimmt. Ja, danke. Okay, das war's,
Well,
danke.
have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Okay, ein größerer Mann. Hm.
Sir Jacques Perreux?
Ich würde ihn echt gerne nochmal irgendwie auf die Nase treten, aber ich kann nicht. Richtig?
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Warte.
Let's get right to it. Are you Elizabeth Adams'
Thanks.
murderer?
That is for you to
Da war doch-
prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy.
Da war
You
doch
weren't
was.
expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
You were armed the night of my arrival. Can I see your weapon?
No.
You do realize you're not helping, don't you? You're making it worse for yourself. Goodbye, sir. We shall meet again.
Probably.
Jetzt muss ich doch zu ihm hoch und sagen, hier, ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich habe eine Vermutung, aber ich glaube nicht, dass es war. Oder kann es nicht beweisen oder wie auch immer. Hier kann ich auch nicht runter, ja? Naja. We tried our best. Und ich mache mal kurz die negativen Dinge auf, damit ich da vielleicht eine Chance habe, aber... Es stand eben, ich soll mir regelmäßig meine Notizen zur Hand nehmen, aber... Da ist egal. Da weiß ich jetzt auch Bescheid. Wöllner. Luis. Schwäche Etikette, okay. Überzeugung. Ja. Das waren aber nicht wirklich Notizen, oder? Inventarkarte, Charakter, Talente, Eigenschaften. Bilder. Auch schön. Oh, hier ist noch. Der nächste ist kostenlos, okay. Na dann.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Aber Hinweise möchte aber niemanden beschuldigen.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Sie ist nicht verschwunden, sie versteckt sich. So ist sie ganz einfach.
She isn't missing, you know.
What? What do you mean?
My mother has left traces in every nook and cranny of your island, my lord. She's definitely here. Now, what worries me most is why she doesn't show herself.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the canon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me.
Ja. Hat meine Mutter Waffen verkauft? Warum einem Lieutenant helfen?
Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see.
Ja.
Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
Ich hab nicht die geringste Ahnung.
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Vielleicht traut sie nicht, vielleicht hat sie jemand entdeckt, vielleicht hat sie den Verstand verloren. Da.
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
Genug über sie geredet. Was ist mit ihrem Verschwinden? Worüber haben sie sich unterhalten?
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jersey, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Okay, kostet mich beides anscheinend nichts.
The armistice between the Russians and the Turks. Russia's come out of it having officially won Crimea, which gives it direct access to the Black Sea.
And, at the same time, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm worried about the decisions Tsarina Catherine might decide to take. She's a woman who managed to get rid of her husband to accede to the upper reaches of power. Gaining access to the Mediterranean Sea remains her main objective. When she still had that dear Potemkin as her lover, I could always find out about her intentions, but those days are over.
Ja, Gregory pretending.
You're speaking of Grigory Alexandrovich Potemkin?
The very man. The little devil behind the mother of all Russians. Since his death, I know absolutely nothing of what the Tsarina is up to.
Oh, really?
Ah, yes. I didn't mean to shock you. Please forgive me. Let's just say that, in my position, It is often advantageous to know about the habits and customs of world leaders.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the Third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Der berühmte päpstliche Bulle von Papst Gregor?
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Dankeschön.
Thank you.